thank you so much for joining us. I'm Gabe Glassman. Municipal elections are happening at the end of this month across North Alabama, especially in Madison. I'm joined by current District 5 City Council member Ranae Bartlett, who is in that Madison mayoral race. Ranae, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you feeling, especially with the election happening at the end of this month?
I'm feeling great. It's been exciting to get to canvass in Madison, to meet people, to hear what their concerns are, and just to help educate them on my candidacy and what I'd like to accomplish as mayor.
Now, you have been serving as District 5 City Council member, but also during this time, during your campaign, what are some of those topics that you have heard people discussing with you?
Well, one of the top topics is infrastructure, our roads and sidewalks. People want to see responsible growth in Madison. They want to make sure we're planning ahead for the growth that keeps coming.
And I want to dive into that topic straight away. One of our questions that we have today is, what are your plans to help with roads and infrastructure? One of the examples I can give is the roundabout on Burr Green Road.
Okay, we're very excited about that, but first, since this is the first day of school, I want to say a big shout out to our Madison City departments that worked so hard to get Mill Creek Elementary to have Mill Road open, because Mill Creek sits right on Mill Road. That road had been under construction all summer. We were so excited that it was able to open just in time for the start of school. Now, the Burr Green roundabout, we're so excited about Browns Ferry Burr Green and having people to be able to move, but right now I know it's a little frustrating for people to have to go through the detours, but it's going to be worth it when it gets done.
Yeah, and you know, roads and infrastructure is something that can get overlooked so much, but it's such an important topic. It affects us all the time. Why is it so important for you to make sure that these roads are, you know, whether fixed up or it makes it easier for the daily commute?
Well, you know, the condition of our roads is actually a quality of life issue. People get pretty frustrated when they have to sit in traffic or they're having to go over roads that haven't been kept up. And so it's one of the top issues that Madison residents talk to me about.
Do you have any specific plans, if elected, to be Madison's next mayor, to help improve roads and infrastructure?
Absolutely, and I think one of the keys is to make sure that we get funding in North Alabama for our roads and infrastructure projects. You know, Madison residents pay enough in taxes, and they tend to go to Montgomery but don't always come back here to North Alabama, and we have a delegation that works on that in every legislative session. And as mayor, it's my role to make sure that I advocate for the city of Madison to get the funding that we need.
Walk me through it, because I'm not an expert on how you can get this funding. Obviously, there's multiple different ways, but in what ways can Madison get funding for these projects?
Well, one of the most important things is that we go to Montgomery and that we lobby to make sure that our residents and our citizens' needs are heard. I can't just sit at City Hall and expect things to get done. I have to be there when budgets get passed. I need to be there talking to our elected representatives, and it's really important to have a good working relationship with our elected delegation.
I want to touch on what you just said there, because I feel like, you know, that role, whether it's not just limited to roads and infrastructure, it's, you know, for anything. How important is that for you? And is that the mindset where you go into this role, not just for roads and infrastructure, but, you know, voicing your concerns for the entirety of Madison?
You're absolutely right. The mayor is a key spokesperson for the city. The mayor will drive partnerships with business to help invest in our city. The mayor needs to partner with the superintendent of schools to make sure that our education system continues to be at the top.
What made you want to run for this position?
Well, you know, Madison deserves leadership that listens intently, plans strategically, and delivers results for the community. When Mayor Finley and the majority of our council decided not to run again for office, we knew that there was going to be a vacuum there, and I wanted to step up. My experience in governance, in the private sector, in nonprofit work, in volunteerism in my community, gives me a unique set of qualifications to serve as mayor.
Can you talk to me a little bit more? We know that you're currently serving in District 5. What are those, what is your past history, especially with local government and leading up to August?
Well, for 10 years, I served on the Madison Board of Education, and I served as vice president and president. And then I was elected to city council in 2020 for District 5. While on the city council, I was chosen by my peers to serve as finance chair, as council president, and currently as council president pro tem.
Wow. I want to switch up the subjects a little bit here and talk about another issue that may have been brought up. We're talking about parks and recreation. There's a lot of people who care about parks. The specific question I have is, how do you plan to continue investing in public recreation parks such as Dublin Park? This park specifically wasn't mentioned in the mayor's letter for improvement last fall.
Well, it's not only Dublin Park, but Palmer Park that impacts residents. You know, I'm very proud of what we've done in terms of developing the town Madison area and having the baseball stadium continue to succeed. But it's really important for us as a city to invest in our own residents so that they can enjoy quality of life. And I've had a lot of parents tell me as I canvass that we have to upgrade Palmer Park. And that takes prioritization, that takes focus, and figuring out how to fund these improvements.
And Palmer and Dublin are such popular parks, especially in the city of Madison. What do you have any plans for improvement for these parks and just parks and recreation sector as a whole if you were elected?
So our Parks and Recreation Department actually have a master plan to expand upon and improve our recreation facilities. And it's really a matter of leadership putting a focus on that and prioritizing funding for that.
Yeah. And you mentioned it quickly, the ballpark, Toyota Field. It's kind of been the epicenter, really, of a lot of conversations, especially in these last few months. But a few months ago, you guys kind of sealed the deal with that. What are your thoughts on that deal?
Well, we had a proposal from the owners of the team to expand the stadium, to add 4-story suites. And it's a great, beautiful plan. The problem is that it would have caused us to go $30 million in debt. And that was something that concerned a number of members of the council, as well as taxpayers in Madison. I think that it's a beautiful park, and I think we have other opportunities to bring in other sporting events in the baseball stadium. It really is a multi-use venue, and it allows us to bring in other seasonal activities. What we have is wonderful, but we also need to invest in our own citizens here in Madison. We need a little self-care. We need to take care of our roads. We need to take care of our people. And we can do that on top of maintaining a great development that's Town Madison.
I want to touch on that really quickly because you mentioned Town Madison, Toyota Field, all of this improvement. Madison has a really big opportunity to be, have a really good track for the future. And how important is that, not just as the Madison mayor, but anyone that's serving Madison's residents, kind of putting yourselves on track to be the best you can be in the future?
Well, Town Madison is vitally important because of the businesses that are coming out of the ground almost every week. We have new restaurants, we have new hotels, in addition to the stadium. And so we want to make sure that we give other people reasons to come to Madison and spend their tax dollars. I'm all about that, and we want to make it as easy as possible to get there. So I'm very proud of that development, and that development will help us then fund improvements for the quality of life of our residents.
You must be really excited seeing all this growth happen right in your backyard, right?
Growth is our greatest opportunity and challenge, and I am excited about the city of Madison. We have such a bright future, and I look forward to be able to advocate for Madison.
Yeah, and I want to segue that into this question that I have here, and it is about the future. The written question that I have is, how will you help position the city of Madison for success in the next 5 years?
I think one of the keys for Madison to succeed is strategic planning. We have a comprehensive plan that we need to activate. We need to look ahead, not just work on what's happening right here, but plan ahead so that we know how to meet the growth that's coming. We need to take care of our residents, our school system, our parents of school-aged children, and then everyone who's retired, who wants to stay in Madison after the kids grow up. And we hope they come back home. Madison brings something for everyone, and so we want to make sure that we enhance the quality of life of our residents.
If elected Madison's next mayor, what are your plans for, I don't know, say the first 100 days, first few months, to kind of put the city on track to help, kind of start your plans to help Madison grow?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is listen. I'd like to speak to business leaders, residents, people in the arts community, different sectors of Madison who have an interest in making it a better place to live. I want to hear what we can do better at City Hall to make it easier for small businesses to come into Madison. I want City Hall to be a friendly place.
And how important, and speaking about listening, communication is so important. You are listening to the residents. How crucial is that transparency and those communications, not just from town halls, but just making sure that there's a constant communication there, so that residents know what is going on?
You've hit on a really important thing. I think everyone tries to communicate what they're doing, and we can always improve in the ways and the methods that we communicate. It's something that we have to constantly work on, but it begins with listening. It begins with letting citizens reach us and make sure we are attentive to their needs.
I don't think I have any other questions for you, but I do, before we send it off, I'm going to let you have the stage. Is there any final message you would like to say to the people watching at home today?
Well, Madison residents, I am so excited about this upcoming election. We have some wonderful people running for office, some who are uncontested and have already had their elections certified. We have a great group of leaders who have decided to step up. I hope to see you at the polls on August 26th, and I ask you for your vote.
Well, Mrs. Bartlett, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time. She said it. The election is happening on August 26th, so make sure you're registered to vote. The final date to register to vote is August 11th.